Hello, folks. My name is Detroit Miracle. Yes, as you can see and can't see, I find myself surrounded in the darkness. So it reminds me of a famous voice which belonged to the late great James Earl Jones. I can remember growing up and at an early age, James Earl Jones was already an adult. And he seemed like he lived longer than I had up until that point. So I watched some film work with James Earl Jones, and he seemed like a powerful, impressionable actor with intimidating looks. Yeah, we've all seen the Conan the Barbarian films and the Coming to America films, and so forth and so forth. So he always embodied a certain type of refined character. He was a well speaking black person that inspired others to be as good as he was and is at his grammatical speech patterns. And he said that earlier on as a child, he stuttered and had problems with his speech. And I found that to be shocking because James Earl Jones was one of the best speaking persons and personalities out there. He could have went on to become a great speaker at engagements. It seemed like they would want that voice speaking out at a wide variety of engagements. So because of that iconic voice, it pretty much cemented him as an icon, but not just for the voice, but for the rest of him. And you notice watching him growing up through the decades, I've never seen or heard anything bad about him in the media, social media. So he's a person that's always projected a certain type of dignity, etiquette, respect, and so forth. Yeah, and I have to get to this. We all know that James Earl Jones is very famous for this iconic voice. I'm trying to do the Darth Vader breathing. I'm trying to do the best I can. Hey, I'm not a professional impersonator, so we all work with what we have. But there was that iconic voice, Luke, I am your father. It was that made him a cultural legend and icon for him speaking the part for Darth Vader. And it was the very voice that made Darth Vader the icon that he was. It wasn't, yeah, it was a lot of other stuff. The armor, the powers, the lightsaber, the authority, the military mind, yeah. But it was something about that voice that helped catch people's attention. And if he's speaking that voice as Darth Vader, it terrified people. That voice represents like a sort of type of James Earl Jones turned to the dark side or going bad. Because we're like, wow, James Earl Jones is speaking through an evil character or for an evil character that does bad and atrocities. Wow. James Earl Jones was famous as a cultural icon villain, as well as numerous heroes of films or anti-heroes. We know he played the incredibly, immensely powerful Joffrey King of a part of Africa who seemed a bit arrogant, conceited, prideful, but he was still a good father and he was an all right type of guy too, if you got to know him. And we know eventually he came around like with the wedding stuff where he allowed Lisa to marry his son Akeem. Yeah, I know that's another story. Yeah, I feel it most important and I feel very inspired to speak on James Earl Jones while surrounded by darkness. And especially because I can picture James Earl Jones hiding in that mask in the darkness. I always picture James Earl Jones' face inside of the mask. That might surprise people because that voice is so iconic, powerful, and impressionable that who other could you picture in that mask than James Earl Jones? And he could have played the part. He played Thulsa Doom, and Thulsa Doom was a big, tall person, bulky, so James Earl Jones very much could have played Darth Vader completely. I know that is another story of what could have been, what might have been, but rather what is has been great as a accounting of James Earl Jones' professional career and personal and private life, as far as someone of esteemed character would go and behave in and be acknowledged in a type of recognition way that we have to give James Earl Jones all the refined roles such as kings, rulers, conquerors, lion kings, because of the voice and the presence in which makes it more befitting to do that, folks. So, hey, James Earl Jones, I want to close it by saying you lived a terrific life, had a terrific career. You inspired a lot of us, and especially those like me at a very young age and leading up to adulthood. So I tip my hat to you, and I hope you make it through your further challenges and travels throughout the other world dimensions. Okay.